That's it. Oh, look, nearly. Oh, he's peeping. God.
Baby James is 24 days old, but since he was born, he's had problems breathing. Doctors are not sure why.
There's Mummy. She's come to see you. Hey, your big sister will be coming. Won't she?
He and his mum, Catherine, have been in the children's hospital for 2 weeks now.
Have a look at her baby brother. Hey.
Probably next week, eh? It's your big sister.
At least you might know more today than you've known before.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long, is it 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
Longest 3 weeks of your life.
Yeah.
We've got to look on the brighter side first. There's no point thinking too negative at this stage.
So to Mother this morning, though, says if it is really severe and they can give a little operation to cure him.
Yeah.
I'd rather that.
Yeah. I just don't want him to suffer or have to stay in hospital forever or anything.
Well, he won't stay in hospital forever.
No.
Hello, it's Dave Bywater across at the Children's Hospital. I'm just ringing to let you know that James will probably be a bit late. We've had a bit of difficulty getting venous access on him. OK, shouldn't be too long. I think we've just got a needle in. So we just get the ambulance, then across to you.
Right then,
Could you do with that head roll, Julie, please?
Yeah, OK. Pulse oximeter. I think we probably just need the pulse oximeter. It'll work better if it's got ECG. OK.
Put them on there.
Let's go.
Ian Barker, consultant anaesthetist, is taking James for another test, a brain scan.
We're going for a magnetic resonance scan over at the Hampshire Hospital to really have as close a possible look at his brain as we can. We're still very much in the dark as to why he doesn't breathe. And we're trying to find any reason possible for his problem. It's not a very good start in life, is it?
How many tests have you done?
I've lost count. James was born 3 weeks ago in Rotherham. The problem was and still is that James will not breathe for very long, independent of the ventilator. We've tried on several occasions to get him off the ventilator, but he doesn't breathe for much longer than several minutes, and then he becomes tired and needs to go back on. We've carried out a battery of tests looking for any recognisable disease in James. None of them have come up with anything positive, and we're now coming to do the MRI scan. This is pretty much the last test we can do for him.
And what have you got in here? Any metal now?
No metal. None that we know of, anyway. Do you want the headband off, or are you going to keep it on?
I think it can stay on. We'll try just the pilot scan and see if it shows up or produces any artifacts. What we've got to do is take his ECG off.
Yep, carry on.
And his
He's all
little
yours.
baby.
On you go.
Right, okay. James? I'll try not to wreck your electrodes. And they're doing a spinal scan as well, aren't they?
Possibly, yes.
But this is okay. Is it very wet, Nappy?
No, he only had it on when we just
That's
before
okay.
he got here.
That's splendid. There's some.
Here we are.
That'll come off eventually, but we'll leave that on till the last minute. That.
Yeah.
Right.
Any donations literally received?
No, I've left all those at the children's.
Hold on to that. Can I start, Dr. Monday? seconds. How did it go this morning?
I haven't got the report back yet, but we'll get in touch with the doctors who'll come and have a word with you.
Is Dr. Ritty coming this afternoon?
They'll probably be coming this... I don't know if Dr. Ritty will come himself, but you will get a report from what we know already.
Right.
OK.
Yeah.
Get back to you.
Right. You haven't got the report back yet?
I didn't expect they would.
This is the doctors who are going to look at it.
Yeah, well, when it comes back, they want to look at it before they'll show you.
So this is the second echo, as we call it, of the coronal series, and showing fluid with high signal intensity. It's never very easy to judge signal characteristics in very young infants. What is the age here?
3 weeks old.
Because grey white matter differentiation is obviously incomplete at this age, but the white matter is abnormal here, and it's abnormal not just because the signal's raised, but because it's so heterogeneous. I don't think that's added very much to it. We've no evidence of hemorrhage there. I think we should continue now and look at the spinal cord as you've suggested.
OK.
James, come on.
Catherine's using a mouth sponge to help keep his mouth clean.
I know.
Though Catherine is separated from James's dad, she's not alone. Her mother travels the 2 hours with her every day to be with James.
Right, the last patient is James, who's 4 weeks old, from Rotherham originally, been here just around about 3 weeks, 3 weeks tomorrow or something, with his inability to breathe. Well, James just continuing really the same, no large change in him. He's still ventilated on 16 breaths on the Seacrest. He's only in 27% oxygen. We're getting no secretions up his tube. People who don't see him very often feel that he's looking a little bit more alert and being awake for longer periods of time than he was, just a few days ago. It's fairly hard to tell if you're seeing him on a day-to-day basis, but what it boils down to is sort of James has his eyes open for a bit longer each day than he did the day before, but not making any effort to breathe. Mum's here with her parents. They've just arrived. They're going to speak to Dr. Ritty round about 5:30 to really decide where we go from here.
That's it. Give him a kiss, then put him back down and see. That's it. That's it. There we are. Oh, now he's opened them wide after the flash. You're a little tinker, aren't you? Hey?
It's a worrying time. It's worrying for my grandson and his mother. Each day coming for news and yet dreading to hear the news that we know we could possibly hear. I just feel as if I want to get hold of him and love him. And though that had put life into him. Hey, my precious. Yeah. You're getting stuff in your mouth.
Hello there. How's he been getting on today?
8 hours after the scan, Dr. Chris Ritty, consultant paediatrician, brings the first results.
Any more? Is he doing any more of the breathing, or is he just much about the same? Much the same. Right. Hello, wee man. Hello. Okay. Well, I think probably what we should do, I've had some preliminary results from the MRI. I think we should talk about those and then talk about what we go from there on. I don't know whether it's as easy to talk here or whether we should just go through to the room.
I'd rather go in the office.
You'd rather go in the office? That's fine. We'll go in the office then and we can have a chat there if you want to come along. Okay, are you coming in? Good. I've had a word with Dr. Powell, and although I haven't seen the scans myself yet, we've had some sort of preliminary discussion about it. There's no doubt we're going to need to look at the scans in some more detail, and really it'll probably be next week before we have the kind of final results. But what it does look like is that there is damage to the part of the brain that's involved with breathing, and I think that's probably why he's not actually able to breathe well for himself.
There's no operation that you could do.
No, I'm afraid
No, I thought
not.
you'd say that.
The problem is that the way the brain works, when brain cells die, for whatever reason, and in his case we think they've died because of lack of oxygen, when brain cells die there's nothing we can do to make them regrow. And so it's not that there's something pressing on a bit of the brain, it's not that there's something that's perhaps causing pressure, that if we removed it the brain would be able to work again.
It's hard for me because there's only your lot will know what I'm going through.
Oh yeah.
And my family.
Sure. I mean, I think that you're going through something that's very hard. I don't think what you're going through is ever easy for anyone. I think you're coping with it incredibly well. But I think you are. But I think that doesn't mean that you're just bearing it, because that's not the case. Nobody can go through what you're going through and just say, oh, I'm fine, that's okay. You've got to cry about it, you've got to think about it, and those are the right things to be doing. Ultimately, we've got to, we're going to have to think about some hard things, I think. Okay. But so far it does look like, unfortunately, there has been really very severe and very extensive damage to his brain. But exactly when that happened, I don't know, but it does look like at some point his brain didn't get enough oxygen, particularly at the back part of the brain there. But why that is at the moment, I don't know. Okay. What I was doing just before I saw you was just to have a look at things. Okay. That's right.
I know, darling. I know. You won't have a good cry.
Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps happens more frequently
Well, I suppose it does.
than
It's just
you realise, yeah.
unless you know someone or you don't realise.
Are you happy then with it?
Are you going to hold him, Grandad?
You're going to hold. No, it's easy to do now, aren't
Mind you, men don't do
Did she bring her camera as well
today?
Does she want to photograph while Granddad's here?
Yes, Catherine, let Joan take one.
Okay, let me see if I can get a decent one of you. And Grandad.
Catherine. Got you in my sights now. That's better.
Essentially, from what I can see, they can't be certain as to the nature of the abnormality in the brainstem. So although he thinks it's ischemic, that would be his kind of feeling. It's probably ischemic. He can't be certain about that. He has offered that we could go. He would repeat the MRI a week on Friday if we were going. Having said that, Mum has said that she really doesn't want to.
I think she's got to a stage now where she feels that perhaps enough might be enough. I've just been talking to her at the moment, and I don't think she's not thinking positively at all where James is concerned.
I mean, I think that's what she said to me, and in a sense, even if we did repeat MRI, it would only be to try and define etiology rather than to suggest that anything different was going to happen in the next week and a half, really. I mean, realistically, he's not breathed in the last 4 weeks. I mean, there's not been any change in the last 4 weeks at all, has there?
No.
Breathing-wise?
Not at all. I don't know if it's very fair on the family. Working closely with them and seeing how they are at the moment.
I think I agree with you on that.
We've got a little lad who we know has got some sort of severe brain damage. We may well be wanting to know whether it's caused by ischemia or caused by something else. That doesn't alter his clinical picture at the moment, and it doesn't alter his management.
I don't think so either.
We've got a badly brain damaged child whose prognosis is dreadful, really.
See you smile. Come on, open the other eye. Come on. Come on. Let's see that smile. Come on, let's see that smile. Rise and shine. Come on. Please. Hey.
So, we're all in agreement then? That's fine. Okay. I'll have a word with Mum and say that to her, basically. I think, really, she's, in the last few days, started to accept that that's the right thing, as opposed to her kind of previous state of feeling that really we should do everything irrespective. I think perhaps over time she's become aware of the severity. Okay, let's have a word with Mum now. Okay. I've spent a bit of time, and I know we've done quite a lot of waiting, I'm sorry about that, but I felt that it was quite important that we had all the facts and that we knew everything and were quite clear in our own minds about what was the situation, and then could discuss it with you. I think you know that James hasn't breathed really, despite the drugs that we've put him on. And that he really, although he can breathe for a short period of time, he really doesn't keep breathing for any length of time, as far as we can tell at the moment, long enough to support himself. The difficulty is, obviously, at the moment, as far as we can tell, that the only thing that's really keeping his heart beating and all those sort of things is the fact that he's on the ventilator. And obviously what we've been doing over the last 4 weeks is to give him time to see, is there going to be recovery taking place? Will he get better? Will he be able to do this for himself? But over time it's become clear that he really hasn't done that. Although we initially thought maybe he was going to improve a little bit, he doesn't really seem to have improved since that initial bit. And I think that given that his brain is so damaged, given that the part of the brain both to do with breathing and the rest of his brain is so damaged, that really it's not appropriate for us to keep on keeping him alive on the ventilator, saying that
Go on.
that the only way that he can keep going, and I think it's only in existence, I don't think it's more than that, unfortunately. The only way that he can exist is if we do use machinery and give him drips and do all sorts of things like that. I think that we've got to say, if he can breathe for himself without the help of the ventilator, that's fine. But if he can't breathe for himself without the ventilator, then I think that we should say his brain is really too damaged for him to be able to live. And I think that we've perhaps got to make a decision and say this is the right thing for James. I think we've got to see what happens. Obviously, if he does breathe for himself, then that's something different. We've got to take that on.
When are you going to try with breathing on his own?
Well, I think that's really very much up to you. I mean, there's no time scale on this. We're not going to say to you, you have to make, it's to be now or in 10 minutes or whatever. I think you need time to see him and to say goodbye to him, because honestly, I don't think he is going to breathe for himself without the ventilator. And I think you do need time perhaps to say goodbye to him. But that time's yours. It's whenever you feel that you're ready for us to go. When we do come to it, what we will do is to take the tube out there and take the other things and just give him to you so that you can hold him and cuddle him yourself.
We believed that he were going to be all right because that's what we've wanted to believe. Just wanting to cling to every little bit of hope, but it's no good. It's past believing now.
I think that's right. I think we could have, I think that I never would have wanted you not to have hope, because you've always got to, but I think that at some point we've got to look, and I think we know now enough for us to be certain. And I think perhaps before this we haven't been certain, and I think that's the difference, isn't it? That now we know that there isn't any hope.
Until it's told straight out here in plain words, you want to believe. I mean, he's my grandson. I mean, I've not wanted to know at the bottom of me that. But this last week, we have known. Thank you.
I've got to go to him.
Sure, that's fine.
She just feels as if she can't have any more of this waiting and not knowing. And at the same time, even this, since you talked to us on Tuesday and on Friday, she's kept saying, we're bringing him home, Mum.
Yeah.
And
I think she needed time, and I think people do need time when you're talking about something as terrible as this to realise what it really means. And I don't think you can come to that just overnight.
Will the baby suffer when you take them?
I don't think he'll suffer. I think that because of the problems and the abnormality in the brain, I don't think he's going to suffer.
No.
I think he may. I don't know whether he'll breathe for a little while or whether he won't, but I think that it will be very peaceful for him. And I don't think he's going to be upset or distressed.
I think that would help her afterwards. Well, help us all, but of course her mainly.
I think it will be important for her to be with him, and I think it will be peaceful, and I don't think he will suffer.
No. Well, I don't think there's anything else to say, is it, Doctor? All I can say is thank you for you. From, as I said to you last week, from the nurses upwards, you've all been marvellous. And been very understanding, and also been patient and explain things to her. That's been important to us.
Hello, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia, it's Jane.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Care.
Yes, love.
Hi, I'm afraid we've got a little boy for you.
Oh, dear. So is it James?
It is.
Oh dear. Right, my love. I'll see you round there in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, Jane. Thanks, love.
We always want to blame someone when something like this happens. It's natural. I think you're feeling angry and you're feeling hurt and you're feeling lost because your baby is gone. But we've got to remember that there are things that happen in this life that are nobody's fault. They just happen. And they're not nice, they're not good, they don't seem to have any benefit to anybody. And it seems that somebody suffers by it. And in his case, he suffered and you suffered by it. I think all of us here would give anything to have been able to change that, but we can't.
It looks so peaceful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey. Still James, no matter what, isn't it, really?
Oh, you've only been here a little time, James, but you've certainly touched a lot of people's hearts.
Yes.